In our World Lead this afternoon, the United States vetoed a UN Security Council draft resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. 13 countries voted in favor. The British abstained. The U.S. cast the veto. Intense fighting is reported in southern Gaza, which Israel says is a main stronghold currently of Hamas. The IDF says 2 Israeli soldiers were severely injured during an operation to rescue hostages held in Gaza, but no hostages were freed. We're also seeing images that show Israeli soldiers detaining dozens of men stripped down to their underwear, wearing blindfolds and sitting on the ground. An IDF spokesman says that in general, images from the region of stripped down Palestinians are Hamas members and suspected Hamas members, without referring to any specific photographs. Hamas accuses the Israelis of kidnapping and disrobing displaced Palestinian civilians. We can't independently confirm or refute either claim. What we do know is that every day we see images of the horrific suffering in Gaza, injured Palestinians being carried to hospitals, desperate families looking for food and safe shelter. What we don't usually hear is what Palestinians who live in Gaza actually think of Hamas and what they actually think of the war. That's why our next guest is here. His name is Joseph Braude. He's president of the Center for Peace Communications. And Joseph, your group has produced a series of videos called Whispered in Gaza, featuring the voices of ordinary Palestinians. Here's an example.
There's a false stereotype that Palestinians in Gaza love rockets and wars. The wars that happen in Gaza are waged by the Hamas government for political aims that serve them alone. If you're a Gazan citizen who opposes war and says, "I don't want war," you're branded a traitor. It's forbidden to say that you don't want war. They exploit us under the pretext of resistance. Consider the wars that happened in 2008, 2012, 2014, and 2020. They made profit out of it, and only the people suffered. Whenever there's a war and they get more aid money, they're the ones who benefit, and we get nothing.
It's so important for the world to hear those voices, Joseph. Tell us more about how you recorded that and what the purpose of your group is.
Well, the Center for Peace Communications is concerned with amplifying voices that oppose extremist groups and want a different future of partnership and peace among themselves and including with their Israeli neighbors. And there are a lot of Gazans, Jake, who oppose Hamas. Some of them had the courage to wage anti-Hamas street demonstrations in 2019, and again as recently as July of this year. They braved gunfire and prison. But the world hasn't paid much attention to them, and they still want to be heard. So we launched an initiative to interview many Gazans across the Strip from all walks of life and platform them safely by working with a team of animators and illustrators to do visual representations of the stories those voices told.
Here's a clip from another one of your projects. These were recorded about 2 weeks into the Israel-Hamas war.
At this time, as a person living in the prison that is Gaza, my prime and immediate enemy is Hamas, not the occupation. I have no house, no life, nothing. We're condemned to suffer because of this stupid organization. Who made us live in poverty in Gaza? Not the Jews, Hamas. Because of the events we saw on October 7th, the world changed its view of the Gaza Strip. Everybody came out to believe we're terrorists who cut people's heads off, comparing us to ISIS. A lot of people suffer from this. To be candid, Hamas has utterly wrecked the Palestinian people. I hope our voice will reach the outside world.
Now, I'm sure there are also a lot of Gazans who are furious with the Israelis and hate the IDF. And I don't want anyone to think that I'm playing this or that your project is about pretending otherwise, right?
Absolutely. And of course, it's possible to be anti-Hamas and anti-Israel at the same time. When you look at survey data, it shows that as many as 70% of Palestinians in Gaza on the eve of this war were in favor of Hamas disarming and an alternative administration ruling the Strip. The PA was the Palestinian Authority was the alternative offered in the poll. But there's also statistics that show a large number of Gazans supporting resistance in the abstract, while at the same time they are very clear that they're angry at Hamas for starting wars it can't win, while hiding in tunnels and leaving civilians to suffer the casualties. So these seemingly contradictory ideas actually, can inhabit one mind.
Yeah, we contain multitudes, as has been said. Hamas tries to silence free expression in Gaza. Watch this last clip. It's from a journalist who tried to cover an anti-Hamas demonstration.
I was working for foreign press agencies because somebody needed to provide news coverage. While I was covering the event, I was beaten. My hand was broken. My cell phone was broken. My camera was broken. Our household was mistreated. My entire extended family, a lot of them. Any member of my family they got a hold of was jailed. They beat and abused them. They put nails in their feet.
Tough stuff there. I mean, there is not a free press in Gaza.
That's right, and that's why in our new Free Press series, we're giving a chance to these and other voices in Gaza to comment on a regular basis about what's happening to them during this war. But it is very dangerous for people to openly express opposition to Hamas, and even now, people are afraid to speak because they aren't yet convinced that Hamas will be out of power when the fighting stops.
Yeah, of course, it's deadly to be a journalist in Gaza right now, with dozens of journalists killed in the bombardment by the IDF. Hopefully that will all end soon, and hopefully the Palestinian people will have a brighter day. Joseph Braude, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for that project. Interesting stuff.